Ever wondered how deep-seated psychological complexes can influence our behavior and relationships? Let's see psychological complexes, what they are and how they can affect your life. Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Let's embark on a journey into the human mind, where we'll explore the intriguing world of psychological complexes. These are patterns of emotions, memories, perceptions, and wishes organized around a common theme, deeply embedded in our subconscious. They're often formed due to impactful past experiences and can significantly affect our behavior and relationships in ways we might not even realize. Some of these complexes, like the Oedipus or Electra complexes, might sound familiar, while others like the Romulus and Remus complexes might seem completely new. But regardless of their names, each one plays a unique role in shaping our perceptions, responses, and interactions with the world around us, and understanding them can provide a window into why we act the way we do. Today, we're going to delve into some of these fascinating and complex psychological phenomena. First on our list is the martyr complex. This intriguing phenomenon is characterized by habitual self-sacrifice, often to the point of self-harm. Individuals with a martyr complex tend to place others' needs above their own, frequently neglecting their own well-being. They often feel compelled to help others, even when it's detrimental to themselves. This self-sacrificing behavior can stem from a deep-seated belief that they must suffer to be worthy of love or respect. This can lead to feelings of resentment and unfulfillment, as they may feel unrecognized or undervalued for their sacrifices. In relationships, the martyr complex can create a dynamic of dependency and enablement. The martyr may feel indispensable, while the other person may feel overwhelmed by the martyr's excessive self-sacrifice. In a nutshell, the martyr complex is about overgiving, often to one's own detriment, driven by an internal need for validation and recognition. Understanding the martyr complex can help us recognize and address self-sacrificing behavior in ourselves and others. Next, let's explore the inferiority complex. This psychological phenomenon is characterized by an overwhelming sense of inadequacy, often leading to beliefs of being less than others in some way. It's like a nagging voice in the back of your mind, constantly reminding you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. Signs of an inferiority complex can include hypersensitivity to criticism, social withdrawal, and a constant need for validation. It's like living under a dark cloud of self-doubt that taints every interaction and relationship. This complex not only impacts the individual's self-perception, but also their behavior towards others. It can lead to overcompensation, where individuals push themselves excessively in an attempt to prove their worth. Moreover, it can strain relationships, as the constant need for reassurance may become burdensome for others. In a nutshell, an inferiority complex is like an internal bully, constantly belittling one's self-worth. Overcoming an inferiority complex can lead to improved self-esteem and healthier relationships. Now, let's move on to the God complex. This psychological phenomenon is characterized by an inflated sense of personal ability, privilege, or infallibility. A person with a God complex often believes they are superior to others, not just intellectually or physically, but in all aspects of life. They may feel they are above the rules that govern ordinary people, and this can lead to difficulties in both personal and professional relationships. They may disregard the feelings and opinions of others, believing their own to be the ultimate truth. The God complex is not a recognized psychiatric condition, but it can be a sign of narcissistic personality disorder. It's important to remember that a healthy sense of self-confidence is different from a God complex. The latter can lead to isolation, as people with this complex often struggle to maintain meaningful relationships due to their belief in their own superiority. Recognizing the God complex can help us develop humility and respect for others. Now, let's dive into two related complexes, the Oedipus and Electra complexes. Originating from Greek mythology, the Oedipus complex refers to a stage in a child's development where they experience an unconscious sexual attraction towards their opposite-sex parent. This theory, proposed by Sigmund Freud, is most commonly associated with boys during the phallic stage of psychosexual development, which typically occurs between the ages of 3 and 6. The crux of this complex lies in the child's desire to possess the mother, paired with rivalry and even hostility towards the father. On the flip side, we have the Electra complex, a term coined by Carl Jung. It mirrors the Oedipus complex but applies to girls. In this scenario, the daughter is unconsciously attracted to her father and views her mother as a competitor. Both these complexes are part of a normal developmental process and usually resolve naturally as the child grows older and begins to identify with the same-sex parent. Now, how do these complexes manifest? Well, signs could include excessive attachment to the opposite-sex parent, rivalry with the same-sex parent, or even feelings of abandonment or neglect if the child perceives that the opposite-sex parent is not reciprocating their affection. These complexes can significantly impact behavior and relationships. For instance, an unresolved Oedipus or Electra complex might lead to difficulties in forming healthy romantic relationships in later life. The individual might seek partners who resemble their opposite-sex parent, or struggle with feelings of jealousy and competition. So to recap, the Oedipus and Electra complexes are developmental stages where a child feels a subconscious attraction to their opposite-sex parent. While typically resolved naturally, if left unresolved, they may affect the individual's future relationships. Understanding these complexes can help us navigate our familial relationships with greater awareness. Finally, we'll examine the guilt complex. This complex is characterized by an overwhelming feeling of guilt that is often disproportionate to the actions that have caused it. It's like carrying an invisible weight that constantly reminds you of your perceived wrongdoings. This sense of guilt can be triggered by a variety of factors, including past mistakes, societal expectations, or even an upbringing that emphasized perfectionism. The guilt complex significantly influences behavior and relationships. It can lead to self-sabotaging behavior, as people with this complex may feel undeserving of success or happiness. In relationships, it might make a person overly submissive or constantly seeking to make amends. In summary, the guilt complex is a deep-seated feeling of guilt that affects one's actions, self-perception, and interactions with others. It's crucial to remember that everyone makes mistakes, and it's okay to let go of guilt that doesn't serve us. Addressing a guilt complex can allow us to forgive ourselves and move forward. Wrap up. As we've seen, psychological complexes can greatly affect our behavior and relationships. They are like invisible threads, subtly pulling at our actions, emotions, and interactions. They're often born out of past experiences or traumas, and they can trigger automatic responses that we may not even be aware of. The martyr complex, for instance, can cause us to put others' needs before our own to the point of self-sacrifice, often driven by a deep-seated belief that our own needs are less important. On the other hand, the inferiority complex can lead us to underestimate our capabilities, always feeling overshadowed by others, no matter our accomplishments. Then there's the God complex, where we may believe we're superior, infallible, and above others. It's a complex that can lead to an inflated sense of self-worth, and often a disregard for others' opinions or feelings. Diving into family dynamics, we explored the Oedipus and Electra complexes. These are intriguing phenomena where a child develops a subconscious attraction for the parent of the opposite sex. They are named after Greek myths and are considered by some psychologists as part of the human developmental process. And finally, the guilt complex. This one can be particularly burdensome, as it may lead us to feel excessive guilt, frequently over minor things. It often stems from a fear of disappointing others and can be quite debilitating. Understanding these complexes, recognizing their signs, and knowing their roots can greatly enhance our self-awareness. They can help us understand why we behave as we do, why certain situations trigger specific emotional responses, and why we interact with others the way we do. This understanding can also improve our relationships. By recognizing the complexes at play within ourselves and others, we can better navigate the complexities of human interaction. We can empathize more, judge less, and foster healthier, more understanding relationships. By understanding these complexes, we can take steps towards healthier behavior and relationships. Remember, acknowledging is the first step towards change. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.